Hey everyone, welcome back to another SAT math video. This is a question from the official 2024 Test Bundle 6, Math Module 1. A manager is responsible for ordering supplies for a shaved ice shop. The shop's inventory starts with 4,500 paper cups, and the manager estimates that 70 of these paper cups are used each day. Based on this estimate, how many days will the supply of paper reach 1,700, right? So before we begin, let's just try and kind of conceptualize this and see if we can come up with like an easy representation of this, right? So basically, they're saying that each day we are using 70 cups and they start with 4,500, right? So they're basically telling us that we have 4,500 cups in the beginning, right? And then every day, let's just say we have negative 70. We minus 70 from this initial 4,500 per some number of days D, right? And that represents the total number of cups C in any given day, right? So that's kind of how I would think about this problem. We would need to represent it in some sort of graphical way, right? And this can be represented for any number of cups on a particular day since the beginning, right? If you want to think about this like as a graph, right? Imagine we had like some sort of graph where we had the number of cups on the y-axis and then we have the number of days on the bottom. You can imagine that we start at like, say this is 4,500, and then every day we decrease by 70 cups, and then eventually we reach some end point where maybe the manager needs to replenish their stock, right? But the main thing here is you need to be able to create an equation based off the information here and write it out mathematically like that. So basically, whenever you see anything that says each day, that's pretty a good indicator that that's going to be your slope, right? Or your term that has like a variable attached to it. And then whenever you see some number that says starts or beginning, that's going to be like your constant term, right? That's going to be the term that would represent like your y-intercept, right? That would be like equivalent to the y-intercept on a graph, right? So now all we got to do is basically find what does D equal when we want C equal to 1,700, right? So we just kind of have to solve the equation for that, right? So if we know that the cups reach 1,700, on what day will the cups reach 1,700? So we just got to plug in and solve for D, right? So let's just plug it in. 1,700 is going to equal 4,500 minus 70D, and we just want to solve for the number of days D. So let's just do minus 4,500 on both sides, minus 4,500. So then we are going to be left with some number, right? So let's just do 4,500 minus 1,700, and that's going to be 0, 0, 3, take the 5, 15, that's going to be 8, and then we are left with 2. So we then remember this was minus, so we're going to be left with like minus 2,800, right? So we have minus 2,800 is equal to minus 70D, right? And for this part, like don't really, like if you didn't get this part right here, don't worry, you can probably just use your calculator and you'll be perfectly fine. So anyways, now we have minus 2,800 is equal to 70D, or minus 70D. We divide both sides by minus 70, this side by minus 70, and then we get D on one side, right? I just flip the equation, and then we can cross out the zeros. So minus 280 divided by 7. Well, I know that 7 times 4 is 28, so this is probably going to be like 40, right? And then we have minus and a minus, so that makes a plus, right? So we have 40. So we know that in 40 days, our number of cups will be diminished to 1,700 remaining cups. So is 40 one of our answer choices? Right here, it is B, right? So there you have it. Pretty straightforward questions so long as you're able to make the connections on what they are describing here into an equation, right? So always remember when you have starts with some number, that's going to be your constant term. And then when you have something that's represented by each day, that's going to be like your slope or your term with the variable. And then you can have enough information to basically create a like general equation or general representation of the situation. And then when they ask you like how many cups in this case, you would be able to know at that point that you just need to plug in uh, 1700 for the total number of cups and solve for D, right? So just the more you practice, the better you'll get at this. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything I can do to improve and make these videos better. Feel free to check out Khan Academy. They have a lot of great resources and videos and tutorials on SAT and ACT, as well as other subjects for self-learners like you. And of course, thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you in the next video.